that it's broadcasting. This is obviously broadcasted. Nobody can see it. So currently. So I am hold on. Yep, it's unlisted. So we're good. So.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to ALD No Limits. I'm Christie.
I'm Ken. We have another special guest, everybody. Our special guest this episode is Julie Chu. You may know Julie Chu, Ambassador of the Year for ALD Connect this year. She also spoke at the patient panel at the annual meeting in Cambridge, and she's back here. She kind of touched into it, but we're gonna deep dive. So we did a man with AMN last week, so now we're going to get into a woman with ALD and see what this is all about. So we're gonna let Julie tell her story, and then we're gonna go from there. So
right, and we're glad to have you here, Julie. I just wanted to say that it was such a pleasure to meet you at the ALD Connect conference this past fall. I think that was the first time I had met you, and congratulations on being awarded the Ambassador of the Year. And I think that truly shows how involved you are in the community, how committed you are to helping others. And so we're excited to learn a little bit more about you today. And can you just start by sort of introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself outside of ALD?
Hi, Ken and Christie. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm excited to be here. So, yes, okay. Outside of ALD, I am a New Yorker. I have born and raised, and I'm also retired. I no longer work. That was effective just recently. And that's sort of a new life. But also the free time allows me to devote more time to ALD and being part of the support group calls. That was a big holdup for me. And outside of that, I have different hobbies. I don't know if anybody likes fountain pens, but I write. I actually write with a fountain pen.
Nice.
And I attend pen shows. I don't know if anybody.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
No.
I know somebody who also attends pen shows, and you might know him. We can talk about that offline. That is really such a unique hobby. So when was the last pen show that you've been to? And tell us about that.
Oh wow. So that was the DC Pen Show. So the DC Pen Show is the biggest show of the year because there are shows in different cities throughout the whole year and in different countries. So the DC show was massive. All the vendors, they're international. They come from Europe, they come from Japan, they come from Taiwan. There's so many pens. And it's incredible. I know a lot of people are amazed that there is such a thing. I remember when
learning about this.
Sorry?
I said I'm just learning about this. That's me. I had no idea it's a thing.
Yeah, so I know the DC show at some point they changed hotels. It was in one hotel for forever. It's in DC. It's called the DC show, but it's actually in Falls Church, Virginia. Okay. But anyway, so never mind. We go to Falls Church, and it changed hotels. And I remember the first time I went to that hotel, and the hotel staff, they were caught by surprise by how many people show up for the show. They were all saying to themselves, "Pen show, pen show, pen show." They were all just so excited to see all these people, but at the same time wondering what's going on. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, great. So you're retired. You're a pen connoisseur. What else? What else do you do?
I had for physical activity, I have been training in a boxing gym forever. Since I was maybe in my 20s. Oh, 30, sorry, in my 30s. So I am now currently 61. I just turned 61 last month. So, sorry, in October. And yeah, I was boxing, kickboxing, and it's part of me. It's in my life, and it's a really good workout, and I miss it, unfortunately, because of ALD. My form is no longer the same, and I miss being able to do more footwork, but I still get there. I still, you know, push myself to get on the bags because you just because it's in your blood, you just need to do something, and I do. So that's part of it. Now, Tai Chi itself, this is the picture here is in from my Tai Chi school. For some reason, there's a heavy bag in there, and that's what made me join this Tai Chi school because I saw the heavy bag. I said, "Oh, great, I can do both." Actually, no, I wasn't able to. Tai Chi, I used to do, and we would also had weapons practice. So I was able even to do some weapons forms. But as it goes, I lost balance. I wasn't able to balance myself anymore for Tai Chi. Um, so that had to stop. And I still go to Tai Chi now because I'm still friends with everyone. And it's nice to be still a part of this environment. So that's where that goes.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'd keep at it. I mean, adjust and adapts regardless. You can punch that bag even if you're not standing anymore. You can still roll up and punch the bag. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to a boxing gym, but the thing is it's so expensive now. The gym memberships are so expensive that I finally decided, okay, I'm retired. I think I'll have to cut back or just stop. So I did. I stopped. And it's been since the end of September, and I miss it. I realize. And
Yeah.
also the people in the gym, the trainers, that they're great. They see you. I walk into the gym, any gym, with my walking stick,
Yeah,
and they all say, "Hey, it's great you're here.
yeah,
Thank goodness you're here. Keep at it. If you need help, let us know. But you're doing good. You're doing good to be here." So I get a lot of support. Um, and
Well,
yeah, it's a
yeah.
really good atmosphere.
Well, I love hearing that you feel supported, and it's doesn't surprise me because of the sort of good vibe that you put out to others, and
Mhm.
your smile, and I can understand why people feel drawn to you to support you. Can we just take it a little bit of a step back, and can you
Sure.
tell us about how you found out about your ALD diagnosis?
Oh, okay. So that came about because it was through my brother, actually. My brother, he's my younger brother. We're about 4 years apart. I'm 61, so he's 57. And he had begun having problems when he was in his 20s. Now, mind you, my brother was in the army. He was in infantry, and he was super fit. He was super fit, and he went through all of it, the training and everything. But he started having problems. Um, I think during what do you call that? After reserves, when he was in the reserves, he started having a problem with, I don't know, with a headache, or he fell. This is so long ago, I'm sorry, I just don't remember now. But he um came back, and under the GI Bill, he said, "All right, I'm going to go study." Oh yeah, sorry. He did get married. He was married just after he got discharged, and then he was living in Dallas, and that was okay. But he was still he didn't have a happy marriage, and he left. So he came back to New York, and then started working. He was trying to go to school, continue to go to school under the GI Bill, and then work as well. And somehow while doing his fitness, while jogging, biking, um, and training, weight training, whatever else, he started having problems. He didn't understand why. He would jog and all of a sudden he'd fall. He didn't know why. Or he would bike and then he would bike for a certain amount of time and then he'd stop, or he'd fall or tip over, or yeah, he was having little problems like that, but nothing consistent. It wasn't anything consistent. Um, and then so my brother works in tech. So he was working at the hospital for special surgery in New York. So it's a specialist hospital, specialized hospital, and lots of sports athletes go there and to get treated and everything. He was having problems, but again, not consistent problems. And then one day he had an accident. He was carrying his desktop, or one of the desktop computers, down the hall, and someone had left tools in the hall, and he tripped on it because he was carrying this big desktop. He couldn't see what he was walking on or walking into, so he fell and he hurt his ankle. And so that started a whole big thing. I He had issues with that, and with scar tissue, with pain, and he went to a lot of neurologists, a whole round of neurologists, and he was examined left and right, up and down, and so many times. And that went on for like 10 years. 10 years, and he was undiagnosed. No one could find out. No one knew what was going on. They just said, "There's nothing wrong with you. Go home, get some rest." That's what he was told. So there was nowhere to go. And then it was then after that when I started having problems. My brother had said, I what I was happening with me was I was uh falling for no reason, just out of nowhere, just out of the blue. And the way I would fall, which was really odd, was I would like sort of trip, but then I would fly. I would just fly across the street. It's just my whole body went flying, like I was trying to steal second base. This is what I've always said to anybody. It's like I was trying to steal second base. But and then it was always in New York, it'd be in front of a huge tourist crowd, and they'd all go, "Oh." Yeah, they'd all go, "Oh." And
That's like a nightmare. That
huh?
Yeah, that's like a
Yeah,
nightmare.
it was a nightmare, but somehow I wasn't really hurt. I was- Somehow I was able to get up and just kind of brush myself off and keep going. Like this, it was the oddest thing. And people were saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I seem to be okay. I had no bruises. My hands were okay, my wrists. I mean,
Oh,
I
lucky.
didn't exactly
Yeah.
land hard on my wrists.
Yeah.
But somehow I just got up. I said, "All right, I gotta keep going." So I
And
did.
this was happening with frequency?
It happened a few times. It happened a few times that year. I don't remember what year that was, but uh yeah. And the same that year what was also happening was I couldn't carry weights. Like for some reason my backpack was so heavy for no reason. It was always the same and stuff that was in my bag, but for some reason it was just so heavy. And I did contact a chiropractor, so I had a couple of sessions um and it helped a little, but it didn't stop anything. It was still still problems. And then I did go to someone called a manual therapist. Um, she was a physical therapist, but actually she actually went deep into your muscles. And she dug in there and really worked my muscles, and that helped a lot. That she was the first one to tell me that I wasn't standing straight. That first when I was standing, my hands would fall forward, and I'm just, I didn't realize it. But then after sessions with her, then my shoulders were back again, and my I was standing up straight again. So that was really good. But again, no tie in to my brother, nothing tied in. I just thought it was because I'm physically active and things are happening to me as I'm getting older. So that's all that was going on through my head.
So so this is
But
all
because I was falling and then people were asking, well, have you fallen this year? Have you, how many times have you? So that seemed to be a thing. So I said, uh-oh, this is something going on here. I started having a spasm in my leg. And my brother one day, just out of nowhere, just said, "Oh, I've got this spasm in my leg." And he pointed to the exact same spot
huh.
that I had. I said, "Uh-oh." So I went to see a neurologist on my own, someone in my network. And then I said to her, "Well, it seems something similar to what my brother has." And she said, "You know what? Because you said that, I'm going to refer you to a peripheral neuro neuropathologist to see, and you see this doctor together with your brother." And that's what we did. So we did that, and that's how we got our diagnosis for very long chain fatty acids.
Huh. That was going to
That's
be
how
my
that
question.
happened.
When you started falling, was your brother diagnosed it? Which obviously not. You just told us. Huh. So it was still a mystery there. So okay. So then,
Yeah.
wow.
So it sounds like a long diagnostic journey
Yeah.
for your brother and you. And
Yeah.
wow, it's so lucky that that neurologist referred you
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
were able to get that testing.
So let's go
Yeah.
to
That's
then what? Now we know we have this. Then what? Do we assuming we Googled it. You obviously Googled it. Your brother probably Googled it, and then
my brother, because it had been going on for so long, he was not happy with the diagnosis. I said, well, we finally have one
right.
because he didn't have one for so many years. Um, but he felt, I don't know, he felt that all the doctors were wrong.
Mhm.
That he had gone untreated for too long, and well, so my brother is not sitting happily with this at all.
Okay.
So
And how long ago was this, Julie, that you all had the confirmation of ALD?
Yeah.
that was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like 15 years,
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And and according to my diagnosis, I was thinking, oh, well, definitely need work in our legs. We can't ignore our legs. And my brother, however, was stubborn and kept thinking he needed to do more upper body strength because he needed to lift. And I said, well, you need your legs to lift. And so we had this is a whole discussion about me and my brother. So
Yeah.
it doesn't end well here with my brother. We just disagree on everything, and he's just waiting for a cure.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm sorry, it's hard to have that sort of tension in the family and sort of maybe some misunderstandings and things and disagreements. Do you have other family who are affected or not affected?
I had a sister who she was the middle child, and she passed. She had cancer. So yeah, so she passed 2 years ago, and she did not have any problems, at least not that we connect, but she did have arthritis in her hands, severe arthritis, but it was because she did a lot of typing at work. For work.
Did she get the test for ALD? Did she test or?
No, see, I hear about other families where, someone finds out that they have it and then everybody gets tested.
Yeah.
No, my family's not like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My sister, now the thing is, my sister was deaf.
Okay.
And so there's this talk about, hearing loss and everything, but I don't know. In fact, the peripheral neuropathologist who diagnosed this, when we mentioned that we had a sister who was deaf, he said, oh, maybe it's because of this too. But we didn't think so. She wasn't born deaf.
Yeah.
She had lost her hearing after. So we're not sure what's happened there. So my sister was the only one who had children. So my nephew, he's grown. He's 33 now, and he's very, he's very okay. He's doesn't have any problems, but he's very aware of what's going on. But he never got tested either. Yeah.
Well, at least he knows. I guess if he starts, tripping and falling over nothing, or Supermaning on out to the street, he does know. But yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. And then my mother's is around. She's still around. She's 93.
Okay.
Oh wow. How nice.
But she's housebound. She has lost her use of her legs. And she has aides that are around to help, but my brother lives with her and tries to help, but he's losing his ability to do that also.
Right.
Such a challenge. So I assume your mother didn't get tested because it sounds like it was.
She did not, and she is of the old mindset that, well, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. When my brother and I found out, found our diagnosis, and we tried to explain to her, she said, no, there's nothing wrong. So yeah, that's I don't know if that's part of our culture.
Yeah, might be.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that can be a challenge. Who would you say are your biggest supports in your diagnosis? Who do you consider to be on your support team?
You mean
friends,
medical.
other
Oh.
family, medical? Who are the people you sort of trust and connect with that you feel like support you?
Yeah, that's the most difficult part. For an example, I have my friends at the Tai Chi school, but they are probably the closest ones I have to a support group, but I could not say, if you're saying, oh well, if I needed help, who can I call? Then that's different. That's I would come up empty. I would, yeah. I have so friends that I have who do socialize with me, they know that I can't walk very quickly. I need a stick to walk. But I think, we spend time because we just find the time slot that works for both of us to say, oh, okay, let's spend some time. Let's have lunch. You know, maybe I'll go to a museum with one of them, or yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
So obviously it sounds like, there was not a ton of support groups. So let's talk about how did you get to, we'll shout out ALD Connect. How did you find them and start? I'm assuming that was your first reach into the community. I don't know if you ever socialized on like Facebook or any social media or.
Okay. So actually the first thing was Facebook with the one the group called Females with ALD.
Okay.
So the administrator Kim is on Long Island, and so we would chat and all, and then there was someone else on there named Amy. I can't pronounce her last name, but it's a long name. And so we, get together and we chat, or when she started the group, there were what do you call them, trollers, or
Yeah.
these people that they had to kick off. They're like, oh, can you believe what she said? I can,
Yeah.
So I started with them. And then I knew about the group in the UK, first Karen Harrison's group.
Yeah.
So they were the first meeting that I had gone to, because I at the time I used to love going to London.
Yeah.
I used to I still do. I still love London. So I said, oh, look, a meeting that I can join. And so I did. So I joined up there. And that was the first one that I went to before ALD Connect.
Nice.
And I liked it. I loved it. I met Karen, and I met Chris. I forgot his last name. Chris Brown, Chris Smith, he's the older gentleman who's in his 70s or now 80 probably.
Yeah, I can't place someone's last name, but yeah, I know who you mean though.
Yeah. So and then of course Sarah Hunt, who heads up. Yeah, so they were so nice, and I met so many nice people there. And I was still trying to understand what ALD or AMN. Actually, it was AMN that I had in my head, not ALD. It was AMN, because it's mostly male oriented, right?
Okay, and can you pronounce, what does AMN stand for? Can you pronounce that for us? This is Julie.
Oh, adrenomyeloneuropathy.
Good job.
You got it. This was a question on the last episode, so I was throwing it out there. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I just say AMN because I always trip over, but I think I got it now. But and Aaron actually, the last episode, he fully pronounced it out. Well, this means this. This means this. This means this. Well, it's true. Yeah. But
Oh, wow.
So okay, so then you went, because that's what I was just gonna say. So in your, obviously you've had symptoms, but you pretty much treat yourself that you're a symptomatic woman with ALD. There was never, oh, I'm just a carrier, like
Well, okay, so let's go back a little bit. So when I started, I wasn't having that many issues. They were sporadically happening. They would just I would fall 1 week, and then for the rest of the month I was fine. There was nothing wrong. Or for 2 months, 3 months, it was fine. It was and then oh, and then the walking slow part, that was the other thing. Walking in pea soup, that was weird because that happened. I was diagnosed in 2011. I remember there was an event I went to in 2007. I was walking with a group of people to go to a dinner, and I ended up walking 3 blocks behind the crowd. And I said, I don't understand. I'm walking, I don't have a stick. I'm not walking with a stick yet.
right.
But all of a sudden I feel like I can't get any speed to it's like
Wow.
something's pushing me back.
What?
It's just a
So there wasn't
Mhm.
anything that, like, you didn't feel like you were gonna lose your balance or anything. It's like,
No, at that time, no. At that time it was very weird. It was just
well,
yeah. And then so when that after that event, I was fine the next day. I was so it was very weird how this all happened.
yeah,
And then so when we got diagnosed in 2011, I still wasn't walking with a stick yet. And but the whole time in my head, I was thinking, okay, what can I do to stay ahead of this? That's what I was thinking. Um and that's why I was thinking of the working out the legs and just keeping up my physical activity. And then oh, it was at that point that I went paleo. I went on a paleo diet
okay.
because I just said, all right, let's get rid of all this junk food. And then um
Ken is
so that it
familiar
was
with paleo too.
I am familiar with paleo. Yeah,
so I yeah, the first bunch of years I was just trying to keep ahead of what is coming. I didn't know what was coming.
yeah,
Honestly, I didn't know what was coming. I just like I said, I did meet people. There were some people who were in wheelchairs, some people walking with a stick, some people who maybe had balance problems, but otherwise they were fine. So I met all different ranges, a whole different range of people. So I didn't know what to expect.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the tricky part about this disease in general, right? Is
yeah.
that there's
Yeah.
no prediction.
Like, is
But
that
I
gonna
Yeah.
have,
be?
yeah, and
Oh,
I have to say, I'm
yeah,
really inspired sort of by your mentality of let's get ahead of it and stay
Yeah.
healthy, or try to mitigate some of these symptoms. I think that's it's a really great mindset to have. I guess one of my questions was, when did you sort of know, when was the onset of your symptoms? I mean, you talked about how old were you? And first of all, you don't look 61. Can I just say
Oh,
that? When I think of 61-year-olds, like your face is not what comes to mind. Um,
oh,
but am I right, Ken? I think
yeah,
I'm right.
absolutely. Yeah,
Very young looking 61, okay?
oh, thank
Um,
you.
but yeah, when did you first start experiencing these symptoms? I know there was a little bit of debate in the community around women and when the onset is.
yeah,
Yeah.
So let's hear about your experience.
Yeah. So um again, I don't know when you would call it an onset. If I were already tripping a bit, I mean, do you call that an onset or no? Or like I wasn't able to walk quick all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I couldn't pick up my pace anymore. Is that an onset? I don't know. And
yeah.
but I would say the slower speed gradually became more consistent. That's true. That is one thing that was happening because I was still working, and we would do team things like there'd be a volunteering event, or we'd have a team outing, to have dinner somewhere. And I'd find that what I was starting to do gradually was I would leave the crowd first, and everyone else would just catch up to me after. I would leave first, so I wouldn't be the last to arrive. I would be the first to arrive. That was one thing. That was that probably began in 2017, something like that. So I was diagnosed in 2011. So it wasn't until like 2017 that started. And then it was after that the gait problem started happening. It was probably 2018. Oh, 2018. Now that's weird. I had a stress fracture in my foot, and I wore a boot. I had to wear a boot.
Oh.
And how did that happen? That's weird. Yeah, that's
Probably
that went
trying
on,
to
but
leave the crowd so quickly. You're trying. No. Yeah. Oh, that's
but
another.
yeah, so that was another thing, but at least that didn't last that long. That was good. That didn't last that long. But again, I was physically active, so it wasn't like it was hurting me. I was still going to the gym because I had a stress fracture in my foot, but my foot didn't blow up, and I was still able to fit my foot into my sneaker. So I went to the gym. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I didn't hurt my foot further, so that was good. I didn't do anything wrong there. But in my whole mindset, if you hear me talk about talking to other people, it's always keep active, keep active. So this is part of it. This is why I say it, because I always kept active. I never decided, okay, I'm gonna just sit at home and rest and keep my foot raised. I just didn't do that. Yeah,
Yeah. Huh.
yeah.
So that's, I think I'm just curious. I'm honestly curious to hear. Like, it's interesting how like some of your initial symptoms were just the slowing down part. But I mean, yeah. I mean, we got to assume it was ALD related, but again, at the same time, it could be something totally different. So I'm curious to talk to more women and see maybe we might be able to put some things together here. We might be making ground here on No Limit. So that's very interesting. So then you went to Alex TLC. Shout out to Alex TLC, and then obviously you came back to the States, and then did just still just stay on
Yeah.
Facebook, or did you? Where else did you dive to get connected?
Oh, let's see, where else did I go? I stayed on the Facebook page, and then I did eventually go to an ALD Connect meeting. I think I had gone once or twice in the past, in the earlier years.
Yeah,
And um but it's still, there was so much, all the presentations, I didn't understand any of it.
yeah.
I didn't I didn't get it. I didn't
Most
know what I was getting into. And at the time also I didn't have any um real symptoms. I was still not walking with a stick
yeah,
when I was going to those meetings. So it was very, yeah. So it was very new to me, and all the scientific talk, I didn't get it. It all just went over my head.
Do you get it now? Like, I mean, I don't understand it either. I mean, some little pieces, right? But
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting conversation as well. As
Yeah.
the heavy science can be hard to interpret. So I feel you there,
Yeah.
Julie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when did
I think it is also difficult.
the stick come into play? When did you start using the
Oh,
walking stick,
Yeah.
and why?
so that's right. So I wanted to get closer to that. So it was in 2018, probably, or 2000, no, 2000, no, okay. So another thing with 2018 was towards the end of the year, I had okay, sorry, go back. The beginning of the year, 2018, I had breast cancer.
Mm,
Oh my goodness, what have you not been through? This is
yeah.
wild.
Throw something else in the ring. Oh my goodness.
I know, it was crazy. It was now that was also amazing. So I go to I get my exams every year. And then, so that was my mammogram. And then the radiologist who took the film, he looked at it, came to me afterward and said, "Oh, I suggest you schedule a biopsy and at the same time schedule something with a breast surgeon." I said, "What?" That was how it was
Wow,
presented to me.
that is
Wow.
devastating news and a terrible presentation. Yes.
Yeah, right. But I did it. I said, "Okay, let me do it." And so I did it, and the apparently the breast surgeon I had was the best at the hospital. It was Mount Sinai, and they had the best one to work with me, so that was really good. Um and I went through radiology, yeah, radiology, but I did not do the chemo because of ALD. They was they were saying, you have all this nerve stuff going on. We're not sure that chemo is gonna give you that much benefit. It'll probably ruin you. We don't want to overtreat you.
Yeah.
And so I did not do chemo. Um, and I thought that was a good call on their part. Because oh, and another weird thing that somebody said to me at that time. Oh, so they found out the type of breast cancer I had, and it only required a lumpectomy. But they said this one, she was a nurse, I believe, and she said, "Well, if you were going to get any breast cancer, this is the best one." The best
Oh my
one.
goodness. I know. That's another strange thing to say to
Thanks for the
someone.
compliment, I guess. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. But I got through it.
yeah.
Yeah, I I didn't take a break from work because I didn't want to be sitting at home like just, thinking about stuff. There was nothing for me to think about, honestly. You know, I So I just said, "All right, I'm just gonna keep going to work." So when I had my radiology appointments, I would just take a longer lunch break. I
I
just
don't
go to
know.
lunch, come
This is
back.
what.
All right.
Okay, so you have ALD. You get a
So
stress fracture in
so
your foot and you
yeah.
keep working out. You're
So
you have breast
okay.
cancer.
So 2018 does not finish. Okay, it does not end yet. So
Tell
what
the
happened
story.
was I had a trip planned for London in April of 2018, but because of the breast cancer, they said, "Oh, no, 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 you shouldn't go. You shouldn't go. You have to stay here." I'm like, what? So I had to cancel it. So I rescheduled it for October of 2018. So that's when I got on the plane finally to London. Well, so, I have to think about this. 2018 was a mammoth year for me.
Banger.
Um, 2018 was when I got sciatica in my back.
Oh.
I had flown back and forth to Europe any number of times, no problems.
Yeah.
But that time when I went, I could not get up from my seat. I could barely stand up from my seat when we landed. And because I didn't know I was going to have such problems, I didn't call for any wheelchair assistance or anything. So there was no one there waiting for me at the gate. And then finally, when I was able to stand up, everyone had gone from the gate. There was nobody I could talk to. And so I had sciatica for like 4 years. Well, 3.5 years. Like it didn't go away until January of 22. That was such a
So
weird
you
thing
went
that
through
whole time.
COVID. You went through COVID with sciatica,
Yeah,
as if
yeah,
COVID wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
yeah.
Goodness.
That was a weird thing. But I still kept going to the gym. I had to modify everything. I had to go slow with everything. And it's like, no, I still want to do this. I can still do this, but this hurts. This hurts, or I have to stretch more, or I don't know. I just kept going. There was just in my mind, I did not want to just stay home and sit on the couch or lay in bed or anything. I just said, I gotta just keep going.
I love that. So I have two questions. First of all, how did the sciatica go away? Was it in part because you're a gym rat, Julie the gym rat, and you were just like working out and stretching? Did you take medication? Like, was it magic? How did it go away?
It was magic. So at this time, I was still working, right? I was still working and going to the office, and but no. So during COVID, we didn't have to go to the office um, all the time. So that's true. So it was a sort of hybrid. It became hybrid, right? Um, but in the month of January 2022, we had a horrendous winter. um, it was so cold for the month that the office said no one is required to come to the office. I said, really? So, that surprised me, but I said, all right, no, I'm fine with that because I can't walk was it snowing? I don't even remember if it was snowing. Um, but when the weather got better in February, I said, I'm going to step outside and see what it's like. And then the sciatica was gone. It was just gone. I
Huh.
had no pain.
The cold weather cured sciatica.
Oh boy. Well, it's cold here in Massachusetts lately. I'm wondering if it can cure some of my aches and pains.
Yeah.
But speaking of aches and pains, women with ALD, men with AMN, what advice do you have for people who would rather sit on their couch and, binge watch Netflix, rather do that than get moving and going to the gym? Like, what? Give us some motivation, Julie.
Wow. That's really difficult for me to hear. That's just, if you don't move, it's very difficult for me to hear that. But at the same time, in the I was at Kennedy Krieger this year. They give you a folder. So in the folder is a recommendation for exercising. It's you should do this, you should do that, and then there are different points, or maybe exercise at the same time every day, or whatever, things like that. And I was reading it while I was waiting for the doctor. I was waiting and reading this, and I said, if I were not someone who exercised, I would just I would just cringe at this list. I go, what? I'm not doing that. If I were someone who had just seen this and had, you know, that's the problem. It's there are some people who are just not, um, that are not motivated to exercise because it's not ever been in their lives, and it's always been work if it was to do that. But for me, exercise is not just physically beneficial, it's also mentally your mind clears up. It really does. It just it sets things in a particular order for you, and you just feel better overall. It's not just, oh, I have to get to the gym. And see, that's the part that you don't want to think about. You want to think about being in the gym and doing your exercises, or starting the exercises where you should begin, not just right off the bat, just, okay, everybody do, 30 burpees in 30 seconds. You can't do that. That's you have to start
So
slow. You have
start
to,
small, start slow. Yeah.
yeah, start slow, and you have to be in the moment. Everything is mindful. It's very mindful. You have to be in the moment. You can't be thinking, oh, it's going to be such a drag to get there. No, you just have to be there.
Be
Be
there.
there, and then start slow. You can I actually have a book of all the exercises that I do, and I write it down, and then I'll write down, okay, this exercise was good, this was not good. Let's start with a different exercise. And, I'll make notes for myself. So I don't know if that'll help. I hope it does.
Yeah.
I think they say tracking is good for any sort of new habit, right?
Yeah.
Tracking that you've done it and kind of seeing that. As we're coming up upon the new year, I like to think of, I don't like to call them resolutions, but maybe sort of goals. I don't know.
Yeah.
Reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also during the meeting, I think, oh no, not during the meeting, during my visit at Kennedy Krieger, that somebody mentioned that, well, not everyone is cut out to do exercise, or there's their body makeup is just different, or which, I don't know, maybe that's true. I don't know if that's true, but hopefully it doesn't provide an excuse for people not to try.
Definitely. So, okay, so we got out of 2018. We're moved on to past COVID. Now we're past COVID. And then I just wanted to hear more, since, again, Ambassador of the Year at ALD Connect. Like, when did you really dive into that community to start, interacting more with people, and how did that help?
Well, yeah, it's the support calls
Yeah.
that started it, and I said, all right, I really need to join in and hear what everyone else is saying. So me personally, I'm not a very open person, to be honest. This is new for me, to be going in front of the camera and start talking about myself. This is new to me. This is, it's not me at all. I don't, like, Ken, you're on YouTube all the time, but
I know.
Well, we appreciate you getting out of your comfort
Yeah,
zone.
this is great. So
yeah, I was, in fact, this morning, I have a therapist now, and I was telling her that, well, if you go on my social media, you won't see any selfies. I don't appear anywhere, only in certain things, but not. You won't see me, like I sent the picture of Times Square. I I kind of put it. I kind of put a part
she
part of
kind
my
of
face in it.
did.
And also in the Tai Chi school that all right, let's put part of my face in. But yeah, so this is new. I mean, so when I joined, yeah, like that. So it was, so when I joined the support group just as a participant, um I just wanted to listen. I didn't know what to say, what I could offer,
Yeah.
and then I think it just hit where somebody talked about exercise. That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Oh yes, I can definitely recommend, working out and keeping active and so on." So um and then later on, I I I I didn't say much. I still don't say much at this point. But later on, people were saying to me that I was helping people. I said, "I am." I had no idea if I am. If I am helping people, great. I'm glad to hear that. Um, so I feel like I'm contributing. So
Awesome.
then started doing that, and then I was asked to co-host, and I said, "Really, me? What?" I really did. I
Yeah.
didn't understand why I was being asked, and but at the time I was still working, so it was just too busy. There were some meetings that I missed completely because I was on work calls or
Yeah.
something. Um, and then finally I retired. I told Kathleen, I said, "Okay, Kathleen, I'm retired now, so I can join." And she said, "Yay!" And I said, "Okay." So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to do. I just said, "All right, let me just be
Be
there.
be
Just
there.
be mindful." And
Yeah. And your words mean more, which is something that I've realized over my years of talking about. So, like, I never appreciated like what people say. Like they say, like, "Oh, your words mean so much," And I don't think my brain really did grasp around that. I'm like, do this, it does it though? But from what I've heard from people, it does. So, I'm like, you know,
Mm,
this is not why I
yeah.
ever decided to like go out there, but it's kind of cool at the same time when you look at it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's great that you're out there.
yeah.
Definitely.
We got Julie out here now, everyone. So she's out and she can't go back now. So
That's right. Keep her out in the spotlight,
we
Julie.
are.
Julie's
So
very humble.
the question I already told you that, and we asked it last week. So the question: if you could live one day without ALD, what would you do?
Um, mm. One day without ALD, just one day without.
Well, you
Uh,
might be able to extend it for a little. We'll give you a week, but what would you do in the week?
Yes, a week.
um,
What's the number? We didn't go into other symptoms and stuff, which but like obviously we have other symptoms. But what is that number one thing that you could go back, just be like before all this?
oh, well, I'd probably travel.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I could travel now, but it's so painful.
yeah. No, I get it. Huh, interesting. That's yeah. I mean that comes with everything. Like kind of like we said. Aaron said about just walking and running, but that kind of comes with the whole thing. You're going traveling, which obviously you're gonna be hustling through the airport, so easier.
Yeah.
And she's going to be boxing along the
And
way.
she's gonna be boxing wherever she's in London. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's true, but yeah. So sorry, I didn't touch on when I started the stick. I started
oh yeah.
walking with the stick during COVID.
Oh, okay.
It was when the gyms had shut down.
Yeah.
That's what happened. The gyms shut down, and I will
Oh, wait,
walk
hang on a
people.
second. I think you're frozen.
I think she's
You're
totally
frozen
Me?
on my end.
hold on. Yeah, she's frozen on my
Yeah,
end too.
we
Hold on.
need to cut.
Oh, we'll wait till she comes back. Oh, she's
She's
okay.
back. You're back. You were frozen for a
Oh,
minute.
that's
Uh,
weird.
yeah, it's a connection. Sometimes it's fine. Okay. That. Whoop. Yeah, we'll make sure she's all the way there. You're going kinda.
Oh, she's frozen again. We can hear
me?
you, but yeah.
Okay, now I think now I think you're back. Okay. Yeah, just okay, so let's start back up of when you started the stick and what yeah.
Oh yeah. So going back to the stick, I it was during COVID, when the gyms shut down, right? So no one had a gym to go to anymore. So I started going to the local parks, and I saw all the other gym goers at the local parks. Like, all those bodybuilders out there.
Yeah.
Um and at the time I was still walking only part-time with a stick. Not the whole time, but it was part-time. But it gradually that's when it gradually started. I started using it probably 2019, 20. I was using it full time. Yeah. But that was hard. It was difficult. But also, it was difficult because I was in the mindset from the beginning that I want to stay ahead of this, all the symptoms. But now they're catching up to me, unfortunately. Um, it took me a long time to finally get in my head that I'm a disabled person. It took a long time, because I thought that using the stick was also going to be temporary, but
Yeah.
now it seems to be more permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a mindset thing. It is definitely.
yeah,
As I said, I'm the handicap man now.
yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, you had it gradually also, right?
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah. Nope, I get that. Absolutely.
Yeah. But at the same time, it opens up the disability world where you can get that, the help at the airport, or,
Yeah.
you know, it was, I have to say it was great when I did that the first time. I said, wow.
I know. They let
And
me get on plane first. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
yeah, one trip I went with my nephew, who's he's an adult, and he didn't understand it either. He thought he would check in, by himself somewhere else.
Right.
I said, no, check in with me.
Yeah, you
And
come
then
with
so together we were able to get boarded first. And
yeah.
yeah, so that was great. He was
Some perks.
excited about that.
Perks. There's more perks to this. You got to take advantage of the perks. Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
But
last question, I think here. What would you tell someone who is newly diagnosed, especially someone who may have been on a path similar to yours, where there was perhaps a diagnostic journey, an adult who is newly diagnosed? What sort of advice would you give to them?
Um, I would say definitely, um, definitely be mindful of everything that's happening, um, but don't let it get you down. I mean, you you should still have some control, and you should be able to keep control of what you're able to, um, at the time,
yeah.
and maybe stay ahead of things. But yeah, if you don't if you let it get to you, you'll just be overwhelmed. You'll just be run over by all the symptoms and everything, and all the emotions and all that. And then you'll be out of control, and that's not where you want to be.
No. Nope. And don't let Google take over your brain. And nope.
Mm-hmm.
And exercise. Exercise, people. Somebody said to me the other day, Goya. And I was like, what do you mean? Get off your fill in the blank. Those letters stand for Goya. Get off your butt.
Yeah, that sounded kind of cool right there. Hold on, you were a little crackly right there. I think it's still kind of.
I was.
Yeah, it sounded like a robot almost. It's still cool though. We can still use it. It was like, nah,
other people have said at work that there's something weird with my computer. Like there's something.
It did good the whole way through there. Don't worry, we'll edit it out. We'll make it sound cool still.
Yeah, I heard a little bit there too.
Oh, good. We have the power of magic of YouTube. Well, I'll make it sound cool. So.
Okay. One other question, quick, and maybe you can edit this in or put it, I don't know, somewhere. Are you still doing paleo?
Oh no, I don't, because I'm not very strict on it, and so I will eat bread now. I love bread. I love bread, but I do not eat pasta. Because that was upsetting my stomach. But bread also will, if I eat a certain amount, it will upset my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I will eat dairy. That doesn't seem to be bothering me now. Because I was lactose intolerant. I just probably again not eating a lot of it. Maybe now since I removed it and then I can bring it back in, but in smaller amounts. Maybe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Oh. Hold on, I started.
Was that good?
Yes, that was good. I was gonna wrap it. I started to say something, Christy.
Oh, I was starting to say something.
No, I just want to hear you say something because you started kind of crackling. We gotta have our ending part.
I don't want to crackle.
No, you're not crackling now. So now we just have to throw in the ending. I mean, I don't know if you want to. Do you want to go, Christine?
Julie, it was so nice talking with you today. We loved hearing about your experience with ALD and beyond. And you're really such an inspiration to others.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for saying that.
And yeah, again, more than you know, and we're very thankful for you coming out of the box and talking to us. So very cool. Mm-hmm. And we have, moving into I do not have our next guest, but we're getting inquiries from people that are actually watching our videos and they're reaching out and they kind of want to tell their story, which is awesome. So if you're watching this, even if I don't know you, if people are getting my email address too, it must be out there somewhere. So, hey, put in the comments and we'll definitely get connected. We'd love to hear your story as well. And yeah, we're every ALD patient who wants to talk is our goal. 2020 and 2026 and beyond. I'm looking at my calendar thinking we got this person. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be busy people here, but I love it. And let's keep going.
And nothing is off the table here because this is ALD No Limits.
No limits.
Yay.
And I do plan to have we have to figure this out in 2026, but we're gonna have some special off week episodes where we're gonna start getting kind of crazy. And our goal is to hopefully bring in some of our past guests to have a big panel so people can throw all of their thoughts out there about all these touchy subjects that no one wants to talk about. So stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button. Thanks again, Julie, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Absolutely. Okay, then that's it then. So yeah.
All right.
I don't think there's too much. Well, hold on. I'm going to end it so it's not. You'll still stay here. It's just not going to broadcast anymore. So there's just a couple things at the end.